Hey everybody, today we are looking at the Gainlings. This is a new NFT project coming to the Arbitrum ecosystem where you actually get to play and battle with those NFTs and potentially come away with some winnings. Very cool game, very cool mechanics. And this is a timely episode because their mint is going live on Friday, March 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, which is right after this episode will post. Today's disclaimers: I am not part of this team or connected to the project in any way other than just becoming part of the community. Since we did this interview, I joined the Discord, I participated in 2 of their alpha tests, and I just really like this project. That's my disclaimer for today. So check it out. I think you will too. Welcome to Ready Layer 2 with me, Git.Small. This is a podcast for the founders, innovators, and experimenters building the future of Web3 on Arbitrum. Today, we're going to be looking at the Gainlings project. I'm sitting here with Madski and nArtc. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Hello, mate. Thank you for hanging out.
Absolutely. I'm excited to learn more. I've been reading up on your project. Super unique overall, I'd say, like something a little bit different than what I've seen elsewhere. So I'm excited to dig in and learn some more. Madski, why don't you just set us up here a little bit? Just tell us what exactly is the Gainlings project.
The Gainlings project, to shorten it up, it's like a battle royale thing where you fight against other warriors or Gainlings in this case. And in every fight, we burn one Gainling, and on the end, one stays and gets the biggest part of the pot, let's say it like that.
Right on, right on. Each of the Gainlings are actually tokens. These are NFT. It's an NFT battle, if you will.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, very cool. No, what strikes me as a little bit unique about this, different from what I've seen, is it seems like a lot of this is going to be happening inside of the token itself and inside of the metadata. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, you understand that correctly. We try to make everything possible on-chain. So the metadata consists of the stats of the equipment, of the attack and defense stats, of which will build the weight also of the token, and everything will be on-chain. And it's not just we want it because it's cool, but we really need it on-chain because the attack and the fight will be calculated on-chain with an on-chain randomness. And there we need those stats, and they will decide who will be the winner and who will be the one who burns.
Yeah, right on. And the one thing that wasn't completely clear to me, it looked like the battle was almost going to happen inside of the NFT too. So if I want to see this happening, I'm going to see it in a marketplace or something as opposed to going into a game. Is that right as well?
Exactly. The NFT itself is not a PNG, but it is a built WebGL built in Unity, and it will be interactive. It will be animated, and you can see the Gainlings fight, and you can see it burn, and it will also show a battle report where you can see the stats and the outcome of the fight.
Right on, right on. And now, so if that's happening inside of the NFT and you're going to burn the loser, where does the loser see what happened if their NFT is getting burned up?
The fight actually happens in the defender's frame. Each NFT is in its own frame with its own background, and the fight happens there actually. So if you look at your NFT on any marketplace, you will see this fight.
Gotcha. Now, so I have to be watching it live when it happens, or can I come back and check it out?
We have a battlefield where you can see your history of your battles. And if you're sleeping while your Gainling dies, which could happen, then you will see that in the history. And sure, you will see the transfer of the token because like any other burn, it will transfer to the burner wallet.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. And I want to come back. I want to talk about all of the game mechanics and all of that stuff too. Just a little bit more in setup around the concept here. Is how long have you guys been working on this for?
I think it's like the 5th or 6th month now since the idea started.
I think we started in November.
All right. And tell me, like, where did the idea come from? Like, what was the genesis of this thing?
That's really hard to say. It's a result of many discussions between many people, and parts of the project come from one person, and another part of the project come from another person. Yeah, it's a big team for idea growing.
Now, do you see other games taking this approach where the game is happening again, like inside of the NFT in this way? Because everything I've come across has pretty much been you go into a game, you bring your token with you, and you play it inside the game. You guys obviously taking a unique approach to this. Are you the first to do this, or are you seeing this happen elsewhere?
It's not entirely unique. I've seen the unicorns from Scotty, where you can interact with the NFT. But yes, the game aspect itself, where you can come with your character and this is the NFT and the game is the NFT itself and it will burn down. That's quite unique, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
I
very cool.
think as well, didn't saw other format where you really can attack someone else without he's interacting in some kind of way. I think the Wolf game is similar, but you can hide and stuff, so you can get in a safe place for your NFT. But in
Okay.
in our form, you are like there is no hiding. Everyone starts at the same point, and
Yep.
the winner gets the most part of the win. Yeah.
Yeah, right on. There is a cooldown period after a battle though, right? So if you fight a battle, either die and you get burned and then you're done, or you win and then you go on, but there's going to be a cooldown period. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So the equipment, like your sword and hat, and these all have weights, and these weights get added up to a total, and this total will be your cooldown.
Got it.
So you have to wait after each fight to attack again, but during your cooldown you can be attacked. But that's a difficult stage.
Absolutely. In each of these Gainlings, so when you mint, you're going to randomly generate traits on chain, like you said. And those traits are going to dictate how you match up with other Gainlings in a battle. So there's an aura. Correct me if I say any of this wrong, right? But there's this aura that's going to dictate how you match up with somebody. And then your equipment is going to dictate how the battle plays out and things like that. So to me, it seems the only way, like you can't go hide, but it seems like action is your friend here, right? Rather than sitting and waiting for somebody to pick you out as their optimal opponent that they can kill, you probably want to do that yourself, right? Am I thinking about that correct?
Yeah, that's definitely the
Okay.
goal, to reward action. We want the people to fight and not just to chill around and stay. That means when your aura matches, then your Gainling will ignore defense or the shields of your opponent, and that's definitely a big, let's say, a big advantage.
Yeah.
But I think as well, to wait a little bit maybe is a good strategy as well. So we will see. We had a test run played now. So we saw that the guys waiting a little bit have a little advantage later, I think, because they stay
Interesting.
quite long. They stay quite long in the game because nobody attacks them because they have a small bounty on them. And yeah, but we will see how that plays out.
That's the beauty of the tokenomics, right? Is you get to see them play out in real life, and probably won't always go the way you expect it to. That's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, I think it's unpredictable. Also, for me as main developer, I don't see how it will play out. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, very cool. Let's talk about this. I do want to come back to these game mechanics a bit more and talk about how this gameplay is going to work, and let the listener know whether or not it's for them. But first, I want to talk about the actual process here of launching this thing. So you already set it up. You got a bunch of people, conversations happening, just brainstorming ideas, and this thing eventually comes and turns into an idea. You've got your concept for these kind of battling NFTs, and then you got to build out this, I'll just say tokenomics, like the actual game mechanism, right? Is that where you started? Or once you had the concept, like where do you go from there in terms of starting to develop something, build on the concept so you can actually build the code?
I think the start is always to build a small prototype or MVP version which you can play. So just to get the milestones done of the technicals. The first was to get this WebGL working on the marketplaces, that this WebGL loads in his iframe and it fetches the data from the blockchain, and that we have everything in place to make this product possible from a technical side. And from there, I think the next goal is to keep it simple and not add too many ideas, because when you see it, then you will have thousands of ideas and inputs, and you want to build everything, but you have to focus and you have to keep it simple and to make it possible to launch somehow. And then you build a prototype where you can maybe get some feedback, and that's what we did. We built a small prototype and played just with friends, and then from there we wanted to focus on a more professional product, and we tried to make more or less a to-do list, what's needed to launch this.
And when you start, so once you get past that kind of early prototyping with friends phase, is that when you guys launched Discord and started thinking about building the basis for your community?
Yes and no. It was a bit earlier, but yeah, these people are the base of our community, of course. But I think it was like 2 months of just playing with the technicals and doing research. And then we started the Discord and the Twitter. when we were sure that this is doable. It's not finished, but it's doable.
Okay, gotcha. And then it looks like your approach to the Discord is a slow build, right? Like you kept it private, you're inviting people in, you're not trying to go big bang in terms of getting 1 million people in here. It looks like you're trying to grow a little bit more slowly and more organically. Is that what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we're trying to do here. We wanted first to have the Arbitrum people on our server, and we wanted first to have the interested people. We're trying to build up like a community of the core of interested people who can help each other as well. So we invited as well some alpha testers, some guys from the space who have some experience in gaming, in I don't know, in different types of blockchain stuff. But the core was to invite like interested people first. So that was like the stage until like almost now.
Okay. Now, are you guys, is Discord open up to the public at this point?
At this point, we are open, and this point we want to start inviting like more, spread the info even more. So we don't know. We don't know what's exactly the idea, but I have some stuff in mind to make it like more, open it up a little more, to the public. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Very good. And then in terms of just walking through in my head, the build here again is like the artwork. How did you guys approach artwork for your NFTs?
The artwork, I would say the artwork was not the first prototype of this was completely, as nArtc showed me the first prototype of this, I was like, oh man, that's a super cool idea, but art is not doable. It was not, couldn't. And I asked him, because he came to me with this idea, I asked him, I know a guy, I met him like during my phase in NFT, and he's doing pixel art. And I saw these objects he made, like small characters, and I thought that would be a cool idea for this warrior situation, because the warrior don't move a lot in the animation. They're like static somehow. So it would be cool with pixel art, I think. And it works like, in my opinion, it works great.
Okay, awesome. So basically the approach there is just find somebody to come in and do that artwork for you once you have a model of how you want to approach it. And then, so you got your artwork, you're starting to lay out the basics for the dev. Let's dig into the dev a little bit more. You mentioned that you're working in the iframes right on, let's just say OpenSea, just for frame of reference. So what did you have to do? What technologies or what code bases, et cetera, are available to you to enable that within the market?
So what was the key to make it work? The key to make it work was the animation URL inside the metadata for OpenSea. So you must provide it to ensure that OpenSea can load from there, because it will not load when you give it at the image URL, because it expects a PNG there. So when you want to load an iframe, then you have to put this iframe on a web page, and you have to link this web page inside the animation URL of the NFT. So for devs, this is not a problem, but there are several, let's say, difficulties, because OpenSea is a bit a lazy platform sometimes, and they have a lot of other stuff to do than solving your problems. So testing is a bit difficult. They have a test net, OpenSea, that's really great. In the end, what you need is more custom for the Gainlings. That's why we built our battlefield in the end, where you can also trade the Gainlings, where you can see and filter, and it looks similar to OpenSea, but it's just for pixel art, and it's just for one collection, and that means it's way faster. And what OpenSea builds is for everyone and every collection. So this is a monster of a task. And so our battlefield is really small and very custom, and that makes it cool.
And that battlefield, that's going to exist just on your website, or where is that going to live?
It's a dApp, actually. But yes, we will host it also on a fast instance.
So can you go, so it'll be up to the players then to go to either location. They either go into OpenSea and track down an opponent they want to attack, or they're going to do that from the battlefield. Does it make a difference?
It doesn't make a difference. I think the battlefield is much more convenient, but the OpenSea can be the place for you if you like OpenSea.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, it's just cool that's an option. Is it good? And do you see this working in other marketplaces as well? Just think of, we're on Arbitrum, so you like the tofu marketplace, is it going to work there or anywhere else in addition to OpenSea?
We did not test it right now, not heavily. I tested looks rare. I think also Rarible should work. Most of them use the metadata standards of OpenSea or similar to them. So yeah, it should work. The main difficulties they give us is they don't let you connect to MetaMask on their page. So our user will not be able to attack another Gainling on OpenSea directly. You can watch it, or you can watch the animation and do the interactive stuff, but he cannot. So there he has to click a link and go to our page. He will be directed to the battlefield, and I'm sure he will stay there after the second time.
Fair enough. It's cool though. Like I'm picturing this in my head, like going into the collection on OpenSea, you can sit there and look at the collection and probably see a whole bunch of battles going on all at once. And it's conceptually just sounds really cool. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking it out. Last dev question for you for now is just going through your Discord, getting ready for this. I saw you made a shout out to the API 3 team talking about them building a custom air node for you. And I was just curious, like, if you can share a bit about that, like, how are you working with that team? What is Airnode doing for you, et cetera?
I can only cheer the team. They were really helpful. I never got into the DAO, but now when I see it, I really like it, and it made me want to join it because all my questions got answered. I got my custom Airnode. That means that the public Airnode they provide was a bit too slow because I have to limit the requests. Of course, there are many users, and this is a cloud-hosted Airnode. This is not cheap, and it means that for our project we need more requests because during the mint process it may be heavy, and now our Airnode can host like 1,000 requests per minute. It should be able to do that, so we can have 1,000 attacks per minute. So what does the Airnode do is when you need a random number in a smart contract, you need to get it from somewhere, and randomness is a big problem in a fully deterministic system like Ethereum is. So we need to like order it from outside, and we utilize QRNG. This is quantum random numbers from an Australian university. They measure like quantum parts or how they are located or positioned to each other, and they generate unpredictable number and induce this into the contracts. So our Airnode fetches those random numbers and sends them to our smart contract when we order them. So when you mint, you actually order a random number from Australia, it gets delivered to the smart contract, and based on this random number, you get your equipment. And the same happens when you fight. It's not fully decentralized. It would take like something like Chainlink to be fully decentralized. But the most important part for us, it's the unpredictable part. So it's not predictable for anyone. And so it's fair for everyone.
That's very cool. And now, is that a tool, that random number generator tool, is that made specifically to service smart contracts and these Web3 kind of builds, or is that just a tool that's out there that you decided to adopt for this?
So QRNG is public, not just for blockchains, but I think there are a lot of other usages. But API 3 is the part which brings these random numbers on the blockchain with their Airnode concept. So
very cool. And they've been, you just said it, they've been great to work with. So just want to highlight them as an option for builders out there that might be looking for that. Sounds like they'd be worth checking out. All right.
Absolutely. Yeah, because Arbitrum now doesn't have really other options because Chainlink doesn't serve Arbitrum right now. I think it will come this year, but we don't know. And so the only good solution for now is QRNG through API 3.
Very cool. Now, testing wise, it sounds like you've taken the approach of building these working prototypes, putting them out there, getting feedback from actual users, friends first, expanding out a little bit to folks on the Discord. What would you say you've learned? Was there anything that surprised you from that testing phase? Like, are you getting feedback from people that's unexpected, or what's worked well for you in regards to finding bugs?
Well, I've learned that the NFT space is not dead. Despite all news that NFTs are dead, it's absolutely not the case. Yeah. People are here. People are interested. They want to contribute. They are absolutely happy to give good feedback. And we are having a lot of fun while testing. And I think we and also they can't wait for the real version. But yeah, we will go through minimum two tests.
Okay. And in terms of finding those testers and getting them motivated to do this with you, is it just show them good time, give them a tool and pay attention to them, or is there anything you got to do to get people on board?
Sure, we have to explain. They have to add the networks to their MetaMask. They have to get some test funds. But these are all things we need to explain to our users, right? So that's like onboarding to Arbitrum or any other blockchain. So it's like a good exercise for the launch. And interaction with the community is fun and important for us. That's the people. We will play with these people for years because our smart contract is not just a one-time burner, but it's recyclable. So we can play again and again, and we can make small upgrades and fix the parameters. We will also here listen to the community a lot. In the future, this community will be part of our decision.
Okay. Very cool.
I think as well, in the beginning, it was quite difficult to get people on board because I was like only on E doing NFT stuff. So we had to meet a lot of people from Arbitrum likes because the E guys, they are not really interested in the first place. It was the beginning was difficult to get people, but I think after the first run, like they were coming, like the word was going around, and I think the people heard of it and they came and they saw things already in the Discord, in the general chat. We spoiled some stuff and teased some stuff, and they wanted to join. And like now, I think we have a solid tester base. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. It's jumping into this community. Like once you do it, it definitely has a flywheel effect and people get to know you. And everyone does seem to be willing to help and contribute. I'm curious if you guys had any interactions directly with the Arbitrum team themselves or gotten any support from them.
Yeah, we had a good talk, and they are expecting a lot for a startup like us. So they want an audited smart contract. We are not on mainnet right now, so we cannot really make an audit. I think we need to mint the first season. We need to play the first season and then make an audit of this smart contract to really get support there. We absolutely understand they have a big community and they want to secure this community from scams or something like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge hurdle for anybody trying to start something up new here. If it's new, you have to get over the fact that there are a lot of scams out there. So what have you guys done, or how have you had success in convincing people that this is legit? It's not a scam. We're trying to build something that's fun and helpful and that you'll want to use.
So I think that was, I think, my biggest part. I was like sending thousands of messages and speak to everyone. And I think that there is always like someone first to trust you or bring some trust and supports you. I think in our part to get on Arbitrum, it was Fantine, I think, and the Small Sharks. They invited us straight and helped us to connect with the other people. And I think it needs someone who trusts you first.
Yeah.
So we were that lucky and found someone. Yeah. And later it built itself with a lot of work and thousands of hours of texting.
So it's just a grind. It's a grind. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a grind.
Okay. So let's talk about that. You might just mention Small Sharks and just generally speaking, marketing and community building with the other protocols on Arbitrum. I see like on your Twitter feed, that there are partnerships that you've been able to set up and different people helping you promote whitelist giveaways and things like that. So talk us through that. What's the process for connecting with the other protocols? And same thing, getting them to trust you and befriend you. Is it just an extension of that? Start with one and build on it?
So basically, we started to text the founders or the collab managers first. And I think after the first, when you find the first good one, it's going like by itself. So it spreads fire. But I think in our case, our strategy was to get a decent number of followers on Twitter. We made this with AlphaBot raffles, mostly an Eve project. We have Ryan, the collab manager, who is the collab manager as well of the Sappy Seal, Squishy, and some more. So we had a good base of getting this thing started. And after we had this like 10K followers around that, we started to text the Arbitrum projects because I think it's much more easier when you have a little solid base. So let's say in our case, it was 10K. Maybe you can start with 5K so you don't get washed away and swept away in the direct messages of the other projects. But it worked. I think the strategy worked for us like really good until now,
Okay.
so
Very
far.
good.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I
And
said, a whole bunch of them out there help you promote and things like that. Definitely. It's clear you're making some headway for sure. So
yeah, I think I want to add here, I think it was really important for us to get this Arbitrum projects. Like I was like in every one of this projects. I opened like OpenSea and went like the top 100 and went into every Discord of those projects. So I went in those 100 projects and texted the guys
Yeah.
who were there. And yeah, I think it's the grind. Then it's the grind. In this
Yeah,
case.
no, that's a good tip though for anybody who's thinking about doing this. Is there's not some easy button somewhere where it's, oh, you just have to do this one thing and everything's good. So no, pull up the list of top 100 projects and reach out to them
Yeah.
and just try to make connections, try to build up your network that way. So that makes good sense to me, and I think it's good advice to the listener. As you look ahead, then, what do you say between now and Mint? So you've got the base of your project built, you've got some testing rounds going, you're heading towards a Mint. What is the biggest hurdle still remaining in front of you between now and when you can launch a Mint?
Yeah, the biggest hurdle for now are legals,
Okay.
definitely. We have to make sure that this is a game of skill and not a gamble. So the difference between those two is heavily depending on where you launch. And where you launch is a bit difficult to say on the blockchain, but in the end, it boils down to who uses your product. And if you don't, on your dApp, don't disclaim that, for example, US users are not allowed to use your app, then you can have a
Okay.
problem.
Would that be if it was a gambling app without being a game of skill? Is that what would exclude the US users?
Oh, actually not the US users. US is not
Okay.
that strict. Some of the European countries would definitely be out of the case, but US and I think also India and most of the African countries are quite
Gotcha.
easy.
Okay. So that effort, that getting that language and that kind of legal stuff buttoned up, you have to do that on behalf of your potential users, because otherwise they just might not be able to do it. Or is that important for you all to protect yourselves from any of those agencies coming after you specifically? All of
It's
it?
all of it. Yeah. In most of the countries, you don't get into problems if you use such a product. Let's say for an Arab country where casinos are very restrictive, you may pay a fine, but you don't really get in trouble. But if you provide it, then you get in trouble if you don't tell your users what they are using. So you have to be honest about what they can lose. You have to be honest about what is skill, what is luck, and about predictability. And you may have to say something about the age of users. So users below 18 years cannot play, and it's your business to manage that.
And
Yes.
how do you go about all of this? Because if you're launching, obviously blockchains worldwide, and you've got all of these different governments and agencies and rules and everything else to potentially abide by. And obviously, one of the number one complaints here in the US right now is the lack of good guidance about how things ought to be done and how SEC and whoever's going to look at things. So, how do you approach that? Do you have like legal experts that you go to, or is there resources that you're using?
Yes, it's mostly
Okay.
legal experts. For us, it's a friend who helps us, who is a bit older than us and has a lot of experience in gambling and also crypto funds. And let's say that's his time. That's his part of the project, is to catch those legals. And
Gotcha. So is that what is your advice then to a listener who's thinking about doing something along these lines? Is you got to go find that expert. You got to get that person at least advising you or on your team somehow. Is that, do you think, the best approach for the average builder?
I'd say if you touch gambling or if you burn the NFTs and you let the users get the funds of the other user or something like this, then yes, there is no way around it.
Gotcha. That's a good way to think about it, though, that last qualification. Like if you're burning the NFT and then you're exchanging the funds, that's where this stuff really starts to come in and look potentially like gambling, and then you have to take all these precautions. But if you were just launching these as an NFT project and there was a little game being played and a score and you weren't exchanging those funds, then you wouldn't have those same concerns. Is that right? Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Very cool. So let's then talk a bit about the roadmap from here to there then. So we talked about the build and the things that you're still working on. When is the mint happening?
It
Okay,
depends on
fair
the
enough.
legals, but so we don't have a mint date
Okay.
right now, but we hope to sort it out in the next 4 weeks. So we will mint in March if everything goes like
Okay.
planned. From technical sides, we definitely will be ready then.
Okay, very cool. And then, so assuming the legal stuff's worked out and you're launching in March, what's the process? Like, how are you managing the mint, if you will? Is there a whitelist process? What is your approach there?
Yeah, it's already running. We have a whitelist on pre-mint right now. We also gathered addresses through Discord, so you can still enter this whitelist. We allocated a little, so that's where we'll do a mint in steps. So if you're on the whitelist, you will be able to mint one first, and then after a few hours or something, you will be able to mint the second one or second and third one or something like this, that everyone can be part.
Okay, gotcha. So that's your approach to making sure everyone gets their fair shot at it early on. And then if somebody wants to be a Gainling whale, they can add a whole bunch later on if they don't get minted out. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is the mint size going to be for the first year? I think you're calling them seasons, right?
Exactly. It's season 1 will be
Okay.
10,000 maximum supply, but that's parameterized, so we can change it from season to season. We can make the season bigger or smaller. Also, the game works with only 200 people or 200 mints. It doesn't really matter. 10 is the maximum. 10K is a maximum. So we can also start with 400 players. It will not make a big difference.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. So I assume you'd probably have some kind of timeline on the mint then. Once you launch it, say this is the mint window, call it at some point, kick off the season. Is that the plan?
Yeah, our idea is actually to mint, give 2-3 days of secondary flipping and secondary market where you can buy or sell your Gainling, and start from there the game, and it should go like for maximum 1 month. And after 1 month, hopefully everyone is dead, or we will burn them anyway. So this is the idea.
So violent, man. After 1 month, you hope everyone is dead or you will burn them. But this is cool though. So it's like this time-bound game. You're gonna mint. You end up with your Gainling. You get these kind of random traits and auras and these various things that are gonna make you determine how the game plays out. And then where I assume what you're gonna have to show is that by being proactive and cleverly selecting the right opponents, that's what makes it a game of skill. Something like that, I imagine, right? This is how you work that out. Okay.
You got it.
So then if I pick somebody, I attack them, and I kill them, there's 2 buckets inside of them. One is tell me the terms here. Why don't you walk me through that? Like, how does the actual mechanics work for the exchange, if you will?
Exactly. There is 2 buckets. One is empty at the start. So the stack, that's your bank account or your safe stash. If money is there, no one can take it. And the other one is your bounty. That's the money which is put on your head, and it's not safe at all. So if you get burned, your bounty will get distributed to the opponent's stack and bounty. It will get split 50-50. One part will go to the bounty, the other part will go to the stack. And so hence, if you kill someone, you will get this bounty, and it will go to your stack and your bounty. And when you die, your stack will get withdrawn automatically to your wallet, and the bounty will go away.
So each time you win, take a little bit and stick it in your bank and a little bit and put it on your pot, if you will, and the bounty. And then that's what you're playing for the next time around, the next time you fight somebody. So that's pretty cool. So if you mint out as 10,000 mints, what is it, 0.015 ETH, I believe is the mint price. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We plan to have it around $15.
Okay, so you might adjust
so
it.
We will adjust
so
this,
$15 to get $15 USD to get in 10,000 of them. So you're going to look at that point, you'll be looking at 150K USD. That's going to be the game pot. How does your protocol make money? Is there like a portion of that's held back to maintain the protocol and some level of reasonable profit margin, I imagine?
Absolutely. 20% of the first mint will stay in the contract. It's not like that, but some of this will go to the Airnode wallet, sponsor wallet, because the Airnode will pay for the fees for the attacks to ensure that these attacks really happen. And you cannot trick around with the gas fees and manipulate something in the contract. So When the air node calls your contract with a random number, it has to make absolutely sure that this call is funded correctly. And that's why we have a pot, the sponsor wallet, and this pot should always be filled. Otherwise, the game is not playable. So we will use some of the funds for the sponsor wallet as well. Yeah, most of it will be used to run the game on the team.
Okay, very cool. So each win then, so if it's around $15 USD, we'll just stick with that as the number. If I win, I'm picking up $15 out of my opponent. If it's first one, we're both at the starting point. And then I'm going to end up with $750 in my stack or my bank account, and then $22.50 in my bounty. And then I battle the next person. And if they beat me, my $22.50 gets split amongst their stack and bounty. And then the $750 kicks out to my wallet. And that's I walk away with that. So if I win once, I've got half my money back. If I win twice, I'm break even for playing the game. And then anything beyond that, I'm in the money, if you will. Is that correct? Okay.
Exactly. You can also strategically wait for a few hours and maybe ROI with one attack, because this guy attacked already 2 or 3 people and you managed to win against him. But yeah, it's a risky strategy because you can be attacked in this time.
No, that's cool. So you got a couple of different ways to play it right out of the gates.
I think there are really a lot of strategies to get in the money. I think, like you said, two fights your break even. That's the first one, and the attacking is the easiest one because you can look for a guy where the chances are big.
Right.
The second one is waiting until some guy has like 2-3 kills, so you just have to kill one. Or the third is like mint, and you flip your good Gainling, and you're already like in the money. So
good point.
We expect the really good Gainlings. Then we have a hammer trade right now.
Yeah.
We call it the hammer. The hammer is overpowered in my eyes, but not necessarily, because he can get beaten as well.
Sure.
but I think this character will be more flippable at the secondary phase and in the beginning. So you can maybe 2x him already at the start.
Okay, that's interesting. I was going to ask you about that because in terms of the NFTs themselves, they're going to get burned as part of the game if they get used. All of them except for one, basically. So I was curious if there was how that secondary worked. But that makes good sense. So if you mint a really good one, that might give you value right out of the gates. You can flip that, traditional NFT flipping, if you will. You can play it, earn money from playing the game if you play smart strategy, and probably get a little combination of strategy and luck, I imagine, like in a game. And when it's all said and done then, so if you had 10,000 of them, 9,999 are dead, one lives. Does that NFT have utility beyond the season that it won, or is it just a winning collectible at that point?
I'm sorry, but it will not
not live either.
Because it will want to claim its reward, and in order to claim its reward, it has to burn itself.
It. Clean open and close. I like it. So you're starting anew every time. I like this. Okay. And then how long do you think a season would last? Obviously, there's a lot of mechanics at play there, but like gut level right now, what would be the expectation?
We have a dusting mechanic, which will definitely end the game after a few weeks. So if you just stand around for 25 or 30 days, your Gainling will get dusted and your defense will go to 0. Yeah, that makes the game have a predictable end after 1 month. And with minting and everything, one season will go like 6 weeks.
Okay, very cool. And then so I assume you expect once season 1 ends, you're going to roll right into season 2, make whatever necessary tweaks or adjustments you think are appropriate. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we will get some feedback. We will definitely tweak the parameters, maybe play with the total supply. We can also play with the price. If people want to play with higher stakes or lower stakes, yeah, we will adjust these values, and then we hope we can mint again.
Very cool. No, it's super interesting. I think it's an idea with a ton of potential. It just sounds like it could be a lot of fun. And that's honestly the utility that I'm largely looking for. Obviously, everyone's trying to make some money in this space, but one of my favorite utilities of all is having fun. And this just sounds like it could be just a good old time, throwing these Gainlings out there and watching them burn and hopefully making a little on it. It's a really cool idea. I appreciate you coming to share. As we wrap up here, I'm just curious, thinking about the listener here as another builder, you guys going through this multi-month so far process to get to where you are now, What would be like the number one piece of advice you'd share with somebody who's thinking about kicking off their own project? Let's start with madski. You guys can each give one.
I would say get a good advisor or someone who's really like from the industry or had some time in the industry with other projects, because in my eyes, it's like knowing the people and know how to start with which contacts, with which like Twitter or the alpha bots, and know in which direction it should go is like the biggest plus for starting. Because when you start a project without any people who really know the industry, it's super difficult, I think. So get a good advisor who can lead you like a little bit in the beginning, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, certainly. They'll give you a whole bunch of shortcuts, things that'll take you forever to figure out on your own so you can get to that next level. That makes good sense. And how about you, Nart?
I will cover the technical side. I think keep building is the main thing I want to say. If you're down and you think I can never make it work, just keep doing it. Keep digging, keep search that engine, use ChatGPT or whatever to get your answer. I believe in you. You can make it.
I like that. Motivational end here. Perfect. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you again, guys, for sharing a super cool project. We'll share all the links. Actually, before I wrap up, where can people go to learn more? What's the website? What's Twitter handle? And what for each of you guys, if you're active? madski, you're on Twitter. Where do you want to send everybody?
Mainly join Twitter, join Discord, and we are like there. And I think we have like good moderators now and ask questions. We love questions, ask a lot. If something is unclear, just come to the Discord or text us at Twitter. That's the best way, I think, to contact us. Of course, go to the website and read the Git book. That's the first, or the Gains book, how we call it. I wanted to add that as well.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, for sure. We'll get that linked up as well. Awesome. Thank you, guys. This has been great. Look forward to seeing you continue to progress. And looking forward to season 1.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us here. Can't wait to burn you.
Awesome. And to you, the listener, stay up with it when you can get involved and you can get burned too. That's it for Ready Layer 2 today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Ready Layer 2. If you're an Arbitrum builder with a story to share, then hit me up on Twitter at Gitsmall, GITSMOL. Learn more at gitsmall.com.